It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Hey, good morning and welcome to the Travel and Cruise Industry News Podcast. And guess what, folks? I checked my audio today. So no dead air for a change. Wow, what can I say? All right, welcome to Wednesday Travel and Cruise Industry News Podcast. On this, the 20th day of December 2023, just 5 more days till Christmas. And no, I'm not done. I want to work on that today. So anyway, that's in the offing for the next little bit after the show today. It's a little, I guess you'd say it's seasonably cold here. It was 33 degrees just a few minutes ago. We went up to a balmy 50 today and then back down to 22 tonight. I promise you, I won't be out tonight. That ain't going to happen. So, but I guess, well, what can you expect in December in Virginia? So, at least there's no snow here. There was really pretty snow on Peaks of Otter, which is the mountain I see out my window, the day before yesterday. Really lovely snow. I'm glad I wasn't up there, but anyway, the on the mountain. All right, we got a little bit of news today, not a great deal. The top story is Panama Canal increases daily transit. Also today, Lisbon adds a cruise tax. Carnival sponsors a rodeo. Holland America Starlink installation completed. Fleet-wide. Norwegian cancels cruise for a charter. You guys know my feelings about that. Diamond Princess begins a season in Singapore, and lots more here at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday Travel and Cruise Industry News Podcast. Today, folks, is National Sangria Day. Not my favorite, but I will have a little sip of sangria in the right set of circumstances. That, of course, primarily is a Spanish opposed to a Mexican concoction. First time I had it, as a matter of fact, I was in Spain. It went really well with a fondue party in, where was I? In Barcelona? Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, so I've had sangria before. I've had it on a couple cruises as well, because every now and then they'll, do up a big jug of sangria for the sail away or some special from the pool deck on the ship during the cruise. So I'm not opposed to it. It's just not my favorite. But then I like bourbon, and I don't like anything else that much. Although I will have an occasional pina colada. And maybe I need to expand my drink menu a little. Maybe I'll work on that on the next cruise. If you're listening via the podcast, you can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or wherever you get your podcast from. Just search for Travel and Cruise Industry News, and up pops the Fat Travel Guy. Anytime you're listening via the podcast and want to jump over to the video feed, there's always a link in the description of the podcast so you can do just that. Today's show, folks, is brought to you in part by my friends over there at Will Power Chairs, Will US, and Scoot Around. They're offering the Platinum 8000 Miracle Mobility, $800 off. It's an open box sale, folks. This is not a brand spanking untouched chair, but it's an unused chair. It's an open box thing. It could be any number of things. Perhaps shipped out to a customer and shipped back. Perhaps a demo in a dealer. It could be any number of things. It's an open box sale. But you can give your loved ones the gift of mobility and independence this holiday season. The open box Miracle Mobility Platinum 8000 folding power chair has been one of our most popular products in 2023. Don't miss this opportunity to enjoy the features and benefits, same as a brand new chair, for only $1,099. Normal price is $1,899, so you're saving $800, folks. That's pretty stout. Open box Platinum 8000 folding power chair for only $1,099. You can shop online, or you can call 844-664-7467. Just tell them code Chillie, CHILLIE, the longest way possible, and they'll know who that is. Oddly enough, except the willpower. And I make no bones about it, folks. I use the Will Model C2 power chair now. It's it's not a folding chair. It's a permanent chair, which suits my, how can I say this delicately, my fat body better. It's a heavier chair, folks. And I'm very comfortable in the C2. Many of you know that I have a folding chair as well, but now I've gone exclusively to the C2 as it is. I'm just more comfortable. It's sturdier, but especially for someone perhaps that's a little less plump than I am, man, that Model F, that could be your ticket. All right. The top story today, folks, comes from down in Panama. You know, we've had some issues with the Panama Canal for a couple months. They've had to cancel some transit. They've shortened some other transit. And we kept getting, I thought, excuses of they were low on water. Well, it turns out that in fact is the problem, or has been the problem. The Panama Canal Authority announced that it will increase the number of transits to 24 starting in January. Currently, it's at 22 transits daily, divided into 6 Neopanamax and 6 Panamax. The restriction is in response to the current state of Gatun Lake, which is experiencing unusually low water levels for this time of year due to the drought induced by El Niño phenomenon, according to the Panama Canal Authority. October of 2023 marked the driest October on record for the canal watershed. In anticipation of a potential worsening of the situation in November and December, the decision was made to adjust the number of daily transits to 22 in December, 20 in January, and 18 in February. So this actually marks the first time in the history of the canal that they've had to do that. However, as the rainfall and lake levels for November proved to be less adverse than expected, coupled with the positive outcome from the canal's water-saving measures, the adjustments announced today will replace the previous advisory issued in October. So things are better in the canal, and it's not totally all because of a lot more rain. they've made some changes there that have worked. So congratulations to the folks in the canal. All right. I'll be back with several more stories after a quick break from one of our network sponsors. You know, I'm getting kind of tired of these stories now, folks. The Port of Lisbon will begin charging cruise lines a per passenger fee of €2 during port calls. There's no confirmation on the exact start date yet, but expected to be effective in early 2024. The Port of Lisbon Authority said cruise ship operators will pay the fee via the Janela Única Logistica platform. It said the procedure is still being worked out. Lisbon is and is often included on Canary Island cruises and transatlantic voyages. The APL informed the Cruise Industry Association, CLIA, of tentative plans to impose a per passenger tax many months ago. Lisbon's mayor recently criticized cruise lines' reaction and ongoing opposition to the tax proposal. Mayor Carlos Moedas says, "It is truly shameful that there is such a great resistance on the part of operators to pay this." He threatened to restrict cruise operations in the city. The mayor says, "I'll make every entry somewhat difficult. I can hinder the mobility of buses at the port, and I will do so if they don't pay." Well, I'm not so sure you need to be doing that, Mr. Mayor. Keep in mind, it's not the cruise companies that pay this. I mean, yes, it's gonna come out of a check that they write to you guys, but it's the cruisers that pay it. You know, it's just going to get added on to our fare. You know, we're the ones that should be upset about it because you're adding a couple more bucks onto every person's fare. And you're not the only person to do this. There's a half a dozen more that are doing just this. They're adding more money onto the cost of cruisers because it's such a popular passion for many of us. Just saying. And this is one thing. It's not the cruise company's fault. So, hi. Our friends in Carnival are going to sponsor a rodeo. The Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo announced a partnership earlier this week. The day before Carnival Jubilee is scheduled to arrive in Texas, the new partnership begins in 2024 and will extend through 2026, even as Carnival Jubilee is home ported year-round in the Lone Star State. Yahoo! Rodeo for the Carnival Cruise Line. That wasn't much of a cowboy cry, was it? All right. Our friends over at Holland America have completed the Starlink high-speed internet project. It's now been installed on every one of their ships, and the cruise line reports its guest satisfaction feedback has surged due to the speedy connection. The upgrade to Starlink's network ensures a more reliable service in all weather conditions and locations, and the cruise line has now completed its fleet-wide installation. When I noticed it the most, folks, was with our buddy Bubba Schumard, Frank Schumard, on the Volendam for 74 days or whatever it was on one of those legendary cruises. And he had good signals all the way through. And he was on a smaller ship, too. It wasn't even one of the nicer ships from Holland America. They're newer ships. It's a nice ship. It's smaller. So, yeah, I can attest that it works. So, good for Holland America. All right, here's one. I'm opposed to this, but I realize the reason why they have to do it. Norwegian Cruise Line let the guests know that the February 6, 2025 sailing of the Norwegian Joy was now canceled due to a full ship charter. The impacted cruise is a 5-night Mexican Riviera itinerary with ports of call in Cabo San Lucas and Ensenada, sailing round trip from Los Angeles. While the information provided only applies to Norwegian Joy's February 6, 2025 cruise, it's possible that several cruises around the same time period may actually be impacted. Well, yeah, I mean, there could be several impacts. I don't think there's going to be, an overflow of whoever chartered the boat. But the Joy's a big ship. That's a lot of people that would be traveling to Cabo and Ensenada that could hop on other ships that are doing the same itinerary or similar itineraries in the Mexican Riviera at that time, so it could impact a bunch of other ships. Just saying. That would be a nice conclusion to it. All right, this is the Diamond Princess. Diamond Princess has embarked on a seasonal Singapore program of 10 and 14-day cruises until March. The ship arrived in Singapore from Japan. The schedule includes 2 10-day cruises that visits Thailand as well as Vietnam. Revelers can celebrate Christmas Eve in Koh Samui on a cruise, while Christmas Day will be spent at sea. For the next cruise departing December 26th, passengers can celebrate New Year's Eve in Ho Chi Minh City. There's also a 14-day Malaysia, Thailand, and Vietnam cruise scheduled in January and February. So, good for Princess and good for the folks in Singapore. We're now pretty much back to sailing around the world from all of the actually shutdowns from the pandemic. Asia was much later than anybody else in getting back. All right, that actually is going to wrap up the news portion of today's show. I could have talked about the volcano again. They're still having gas problems from the volcano. They're saying now there's a possibility that the gases could go as far as Reykjavik. So that's still up in the air, but it's like a 4-mile long fissure where this thing erupted. So, all right, let's hop over in the chat room and find out who amongst the many is fussing at me today. Joanne's with us. 5 days until the other fat guy arrives. Yes, indeed. The one with the whiskers. Maybe I should let my beard grow. I have an ugly beard. I've done it several times in my life. I'm sure now my beard, even though my hair is not all gray yet, it's getting there. I'm quite sure my beard is pretty gray. So it would probably make me look my age if I did. Amy's with us. Hi, Amy. Mike's here from the other side of the pond. There's Robert. Hello, Robert. Cindy's with us. Cindy, I asked you a question the other day when you weren't in the audience. You posted a picture from your kitchen, and over in the corner, over in the looking at the picture, the right corner, looks like there's a Jagunda gingerbread house. Is that a real gingerbread house, or is that a fake? Just curious, because it's really nice looking. Steve's with us from Kentucky. By the way, Steve, I did some checking on that bourbon deal. And apparently that's not a scam. There's a lot of extremely well respected folks, and they're admitting right up front that it's a pyramid scheme, but it's a pyramid scheme that everybody's going to enjoy. And you buy one bottle of booze and you send that to, a $55 or better bottle of bourbon, and you send that to somebody on the list, I guess. And then you promote it to other people. And the more people you promote it to, the more bourbon you're going to get back in return. So, I mean, it's a way to sample a lot of different kinds of bourbons. I thought it was a scam, but apparently not, because, I mean, there's a lot of respected bourbon drinkers that are involved in this. So, just saying, I'm not promoting it. I'm not telling you to do it, but it made me think twice about it. So I got to consider it now. There's Dennis. Hi, Dennis. If you can't afford 26, then you shouldn't be cruising. Oh, if you can't afford €2, you shouldn't be cruising. I mean, to a certain degree, I agree with that. It's just that, it's not like they were getting nothing, They were already getting 12 euros or something per person, and they're increasing it too. And then you got Barcelona increasing, you got this one increasing, you got that one increasing. It just keeps adding up. Yeah, is it going to be the end of the world? No, of course not. It's just going to, every cruise is going to be an extra, $50 more expensive or something. It adds up. I wish we didn't have to go through with that kind of crap. That's a pyramid scam. Yeah. I mean, I totally, and they're admitting that up front. It's a pyramid scam. It's exactly what it is. It's a pyramid. But everybody's going to benefit from it that participates. What's the worst that can happen? You get a bottle buy a bottle of bourbon and send it to somebody in the thing, and somebody's going to send you one. I mean, so at the worst, at the absolute worst, if nobody sent you a bottle of bourbon, you'd be out one bottle of bourbon. So it doesn't say I'm going to do it. It just says that I have a little different opinion of it now. And my son's doing it. I mean, he's out there in the middle of and represents a number of the distilleries. So if you were looking at the picture of my dining room table, oh, that's a dollhouse that I made. Well, okay. I can send you some better pics you can share with the group. It's all decorated with lights. Oh, sweet. Joanne says, I saw Elijah Craig on at my local liquor store. I immediately thought of you. Absolutely. I'm glad they have it. A lot of liquor stores, even today, don't have it. Elijah Craig. I find it many places doesn't have it. It's getting better. It's getting more widely accepted and widely known because those of us that, drink Elijah Craig. So, a lot of people around us know that. Hit the like button. Thank you, Joanne. I do appreciate that. Dennis says, Chillie, just don't turn your input. Don't. Tom, your input needed here. Okay, he's trying to get Tom to talk me out of doing the bourbon scam. Okay, okay. I'm with you, Dennis. You missed my comment about the strain on local resources. Oh, did I? Well, let me go see what I. A reminder that passengers visiting the port create a strain on resources for these towns. Yes, I know. That's very true, and I understand that. I mean, it also provides them with a tremendous economic benefit as well. And I'm not saying that that's all the reason either. I just hate that they keep adding more on. I'm just being cheap, Dennis. But yeah, Dennis makes a very valid point. You know, and places uh, like um, up in Maine, where they limit ships drastically. That's affecting people a lot more than they realized. So maybe the answer is to add more on, let more ships come in, and charge a little more for it. I don't know. I can be talked into going that way on it as well. So, um, Robert, thanks Joanne for the reminder. Yeah, me too. It's worse when the fees are going to a foreign owner of these ports and not benefiting the town. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Now, there are several entities now around the world that control the ports, but ooh, I mean, I know this one in Lisbon is directly involved with the Lisbon City Council. So that would be going to a port entity. But yeah, there are places. Are they railroading all that money? I was not aware of that. I never thought of that actually. Yeah, Dennis, you always raise really good points. So, yo, 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 Eddie in the house. What do you know? Hi, Eddie. Good to see you again, my friend. Eddie says, good morning to everybody. Brooklyn in the house, Eddie. Hit that like button, Eddie says. I agree. Everybody hit that like button. Smash that sucker. Smash it 3 or 4 times. Oh, they won't let you do that. I will remind you, folks, take this as my invitation. If you have not subscribed, please consider doing so. The bell notification tells you when I go live or when a new video is posted. I do both every day. So, anyway, we're getting there. What was I? I was 4883. So I'm 117 away from 5,000. Slowed down a little yesterday. I've been chopping off at 6 or 8 a day, and then yesterday the brakes got put on. So I mean that happens. Also had a short yesterday that had like 5 views. Yeah, and my shorts have been getting like 1,500 views in an hour and stuff like that. So who knows? Maybe I messed somebody up. So. All right, guys, that's going to wrap me up for today. Eddie says, "Que pasa?" Yes, I'm doing good, Eddie. Thank you. Eddie, was the ocean behaving on your cruise? Nope, says Eddie. Yeah, there's been quite a bit of rough waters the last, month, 6 weeks, rougher than you normally find. More like seasonal for during the hurricane season. Anyway, all right, guys, that's going to wrap me up for today. I'll be back same time, same station tomorrow. And by the way, folks, yeah, I'm keeping my normal schedule through Friday. I'll monitor things Saturday and Sunday, and then I'll be back Monday, like normal. So that's what's on the agenda. I need to spend quite a bit of time working on my next group cruise that I'm hosting. I'm just now starting to get caught up on what I should have been doing with them for some time. So I'm working on that. So, and hopefully we'll get some of those folks to join us too. So, all right, guys, that's it for today. As always, stay safe, stay healthy. Think about cruising. And hopefully one day soon, we'll all get together on the high seas. Have a fabulous day, everybody. See you tomorrow.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner. Hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.